will have revenge. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. Now you will experience the full power of the dark side.
Welcome, fellas, to the Dark Side of the Light. I'm your host, John, the real JP3. I'm joined as always with my good friend and fellow co-host, who's a master of the dark side, expert on the occult, and obtainer of rare antiquities and holocrons. Please welcome Dark Lord of Sith, David.
You know what? You're actually getting pretty good at that, buddy.
I know, we've been talking on this for like a while.
Yeah, for sure. Episode what number are we on, mate?
122.
122 of the podcast. It's gonna be a good show. Getting close to a lot of special things. A lot of the Rise of Skywalker coming at you pretty quick. We're doing the final countdown, if you will. But this episode's all gonna be Mandalorian episode. Some news, talking Mando. Episode 6. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. Those of you guys that are returning listeners, thank you. Welcome back. As you can see here, I got a cardigan thanks to a buddy of mine that left it here at the casa. This is the way. Yeah, gonna hit Mando episode 6. What do you? I know you're the planner, John. You have it all planned out. What are we talking about? So I'm gonna cool my jets and let you do your thing.
Well, I got a lot of stuff on here. It's a lot of stuff.
All right, let's hit it, boy.
All right. So, Dave, have you pre-ordered any of yours, the child merchandise?
You know, I haven't as of yet, but that damn little Baby Yoda Black Series figure is going to be adorable. I will probably pick that one up.
Yeah, so all the child toys will be released May 4th, 2020. If nobody understands what that reference means, go back and listen to all previous 121 episodes. But yeah, so everything
or just
for
listen
the
to
child.
President Reagan's speech.
Oh, true story.
That's how it originated. May the 4th.
But anyway, there is Black Series figures, there are t-shirts, there's coffee mugs, laptop bags, plush toys, and posters, and on and on and on of things that you can get for the child. And if you don't want to pick up any of the toys or you have no idea who the child is, just go search Google and type in the Mandalorian, Baby Yoda, or the child, and you will be inundated with memes.
So, John, speaking of memes of the child, what is your favorite meme?
My favorite meme.
Because there's like 30 million of them, and I feel you need to post your favorite meme tomorrow.
So there's so many memes, but the one that's my favorite, and I gotta go find it because I want to get the words exactly correct. Okay.
Find it.
I found it already. So anyway, there's this meme. And it's Baby Yoda. It's when he was with the Ugnaught and the Mandalorian, and they were trying to get some stuff taken care of for the Razor Crest. And he's just sitting up there looking at the Mandalorian. In his hand, somebody put a spatula. Spatula, thank you. Yeah. I don't know how to say it right. And above, like the caption says...
He's been around on this earth for 32 years, guys. Just throwing it out there.
31! It's not 32 yet.
It feels like it.
It says, me watching my wife cook a bomb 4-course meal while I stand there with my spatch, ready to stir something. And so this meme is my favorite for a couple of reasons. So one of the reasons is Dave talks like this. Like Dave would say spatch. And so what Dave would cook all the time, because Dave just loves to cook, he'd always be like, oh, like your spatchy or your spoony spoon, or like something like dumb or retarded like that in reference to cooking. And so it made me laugh. Well, it was so funny because the other day, the girlfriend was cooking dinner. She was cooking breakfast. And I was sitting there and I was like, you know what? I'm going to help you a little bit. And I tried to like flip the stuff in the pan without spilling it. I failed miserably twice, and she just looks at me and she said, "I think you need to get out of the kitchen now." And so then I walked over to the drawer and I grabbed a spatula. And I said, "I got my spatchy spatch." And she said, "Yes, you can hold your spatchy spatch, but that's all you're doing." And it was just funny. Made me laugh.
Here's a
So
classic case of life imitating art, imitating life, I guess. Um, that is a good one. We do talk about that one quite a bit in our personal lives. The one I sent you, I feel encapsulates a lot of my life. So it's literally Baby Yoda, like reaching when he was trying to heal the Mandalorian with his little Yoda force powers things. But it says me trying to insert my card in a drive-through ATM. Because the thing's always a little bit high. It's a little hard to reach. Like I always feel, I drive a Camaro, so it's a little low to the earth. I just feel that way. I feel like Baby Yoda just trying to grab it and hit the little buttons on there.
he's also got short arms, guys. That's also the
I
reason
actually
why.
have decently sized long arms, but regardless. Anyway, those are the two favorite memes. They'll be up on the episode. Well, you're listening to the episode. Sorry, it'll be on the Book of Faith and all that. So go ahead and continue to throw your favorites on top of ours, and let's have a little Baby Yoda meme war.
Baby Yoda meme war. The other fun thing about the memes and everything else that's going on is, and I don't remember. I want to get to the source, so give me a bare minute, because I didn't think I was going to mention the source, but there was actually somebody who posted an article about the state that loves Baby Yoda the most, and the state that loves Baby Yoda the least, and then every state in between.
So literally just ranking all 50 states of their love for
All 50
You
states,
said it very convoluted and complicated, my man.
including the District of Columbia. So it's actually technically 51 ranking. And so, as soon as Dave sent me this article, I was like, you know what? I want to know, like, what it would be. And so it goes through and it lists them out, and it says you can sign up for Disney Plus, whatever. It says, see where your state ranks in Baby Yoda love. Utah was number 1. Utah. Shout out to the people that listen to us from Utah. You ranked number 1 as the lover of Baby Yoda.
So how would you say that in plural? So like we're Texans, which we ranked
Utahns.
38, right? Texas ranked 38.
We ranked Texans ranked 38. That is correct.
Who is second and third on the Baby Yoda love scale?
Yeah, New Hampshireans from New Hampshire, and you had Rhode Islandians from Rhode Island.
Okay, what was the least love for Yoda, baby?
The least love was Mississippi.
I could see that.
The second least loved state of the United States. It's kind of sad. I feel like our political parties are not on board here, but it was the District of Columbia.
Well, they're a province. You know what I mean? We take care of them. We do our thing. They're not a state, so I could see it. Anyway,
but if you look at like all the other states that are also low in the totem pole, they're all mostly in the South, except for Texas. Texas is like one of the highest ranking, besides Florida.
Everybody in the South loves, frog legs, things like that. Baby Yoda looks like a little frog. What? You've never had frog legs? They're freaking delicious.
I've never had frog legs.
Little Cajun season. You've never had alligator bites. You've had alligator bites. We've talked about.
I've had alligator bites, but I have not.
It's all along the same thing.
I've never had. Frog legs. So
we're gonna
take your word for it. But anyway, so yeah, that's the love for Baby Yoda.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Dave. The time has come
to talk about that my boy left at my place. I think so too.
He has the exact same sweater already in his closet, guys.
I don't have the exact same sweater.
It's essentially the same sweater, but if you in David's world, there's no, like, it's not the exact same sweater because there's this little difference, and that's why his sweater is different than everybody else's.
That's like saying Anakin Skywalker is just the same as Kylo Ren. Not the same. Not the same. No, not the same.
No, not the same though.
Exactly.
But anyway, now's the time where you can talk about season 6 of the episode 6 of the
Oh, so what? We're on
Mandalorian.
season 6 already. Did the gunslinger die for sure?
Um,
Do we know that?
Consider die. Ah, arr. He knows frog legs. Um, so we didn't get a chance to watch episode 6.
We didn't.
Spoiler
We
alert,
didn't watch it
guys.
right away.
No, so let me get my caveats. Guys, we're fixing to talk about episode 6 of The Mandalorian, which aired on Friday, December 13th, 2019. There may be potential spoilers ahead, so please beware if you have not seen it, which, if you're going to go watch The Rise of Skywalker, you need to catch up on The Mandalorian because episode 7 comes out on Wednesday prior to the release of The Rise of Skywalker, and there's supposed to be some tidbits in there that will
Oh,
link some
there's
things
an
to Tim.
exclusive sneak peek before.
Either way, guys, you got to catch up.
So you got to catch up before you go to theaters and sit there and eat your poppycorn corn.
Poppycorn. That's one of your weaker ones, I have to
I
say.
don't know.
Anyway, so spoiler alerts, potential ahead.
Cheese? No.
Anyway,
I'm trying to think of other words to say that. Right now,
chicken nuggies.
Ooh, I love chicken nuggies. What do you want to rate this episode?
Oh, I forget. Hold on, let me get to my paper.
Because I think I know where I want to rate this one, and I'm very surprised by my rating.
You are.
I am. I surprised myself.
So you're gonna be surprised with this. I'm gonna give it a 9.
You're giving this episode a 9.
Highest ranked one.
Holy
Beat
hell.
out episode chapter 3.
Wow.
Yeah. 9.
Wow. Okay.
9. I'm gonna give it a 99.
What is my highest ranking? I think like an 8? Or
No, your highest ranking is a 9 in
and
chapter
that was
3,
episode 3, right?
which is what we debated back and forth at.
What is my lowest? I want to see the scale.
You have 2. You have chapter 2, which I consider a filler episode, as a 7, which is my lowest.
Okay.
And then you have chapter 4, which was considered a 7 as well.
This is gonna shock you.
It's gonna go 5, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to 6.
Yeah, he's got problems.
And I will tell you why.
You have to.
I don't have to. I can just be mysterioso about it, just like aloof. But I love the direction. I love the concept, the idea behind the episode. I just wasn't a fan of the execution. I feel the dialogue was weak. I feel they didn't. I think the dialogue was the weakest part. And I get these are other marks you're dealing with, which it's got a really good cast, which we're going to dive into it in a second. But just overall thoughts, I thought it was weak from a dialogue perspective. The very end, where you got the directors coming in their X-Wings, felt too quick and easy. Felt too quick. I don't know. It left me wanting more. The Mandalorian was awesome throughout the episode. The Mando himself was great. I hate the fact that everybody just calls him the Mando. The Hey Mando. Even his old friend, who's played by, I forget the name of the actor, he was Bobby in Sons of Anarchy.
Doesn't remember his name, guys, but he remembers his name is Bobby. I will get it for you.
Mark Boone Jr.
There you go.
But like I felt that it was so generic. It was so vanilla. It didn't have any like flair. It didn't have anything. It felt phoned in from a dialogue perspective, which is a shame because I thought this episode was going to be one of my favorites. With the description, with the job that they had to do, it fell really flat for me, and this is the most disappointed I've been in this show so far. Don't get me wrong, the Mando shooting and taking down droids was beast. That was awesome. But just the surrounding cast, I didn't feel was flushed out from a dialogue perspective. Don't give me their backstories, whatever. I can deal with you just giving me tidbits of them, but I didn't feel they had personality. They were very generic, cookie cutter representations of mercs, bad guys. But that was just me. I'm sure I'm gonna get a few DMs, some text messages of people disagreeing with my thought. But now I want to hear why it was so high on your list, coming in at your number 9.
So chapter 6 was directed by Rick Famuyiwa. If I said that
Famine,
correctly, I don't know.
famine,
Thank you.
I think.
I will always get that name wrong. We've had Dave Filoni twice. This is Rick's second episode. He also did chapter 2, which was my least favorite episode. So this is very different that it's my highest ranked episode. And then obviously chapter 4 was done by Bryce Dallas Howard, and chapter 3 done by Deborah Chow. And chapter 7's episode, which airs on Wednesday, will be done by Deborah Chow again, which Deborah Chow's taken off in the Star Wars universe right now, and she's got the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and everything else. But for me, the reason I rank this so high, and maybe it's because I didn't pay as much attention to the dialogue, and maybe that's probably why I didn't pay as much attention to the dialogue, because it was weak, and maybe that's you saying that is what kind of attributed to that. But then what I saw was, which I had not seen before, and people were going to argue with me and how they saw it, but is the tactical mindset and ability of the Mandalorian in total. So granted, yes, he was in that. There was at one point, I believe it was in chapter 3, where he was attacked by the entire guild, and he had to find a way to get out of that, and he was outnumbered. But this one, I feel like he was up against, what was it, six people, 5 at one time, and he was
You mean the
able.
droids?
Not the droids. No. The actual, the crew that he was with,
But
that
he
he
didn't
went to
fight
go
them.
do the job.
When you say fought 5 at once, I'm thinking all right there, face to
No,
face.
no.
No, he did it methodically, one on one. It was never a group effort going against the Mandalorian in unison.
Dave, it's my time to talk about my thought.
Um, your thoughts a
I
liar,
agree.
John. Your thoughts a liar.
That's what I'm saying. People are going to disagree with me, but you're right. He methodically had to think through how he was going to take down each one of these individuals while they were all attempting to protect each other's back to some extent. Because if you get into the episode, you find that some people are like, I don't care about that person. Like, I need to move on with my life. And then I just thought that there was a lot of outside factors that could have affected it. And this was the first time you actually got to see his tactical advantage, in my opinion, a little bit better than most, and how it was portrayed. And that's what I liked about it. And even though I will say that the ending part was something that I was like, oh, I saw that coming, I was still like, I still liked it much better than I liked any other episode. And I thought the first episode was great, and I thought chapter 3 was great. But for me, and maybe it's because I didn't pay as much attention to the dialogue, because I didn't think about it being weak. I just was like, I'm looking more at his tactical advantage of how he worked through this situation. And I also love the fact of how he talks to the kid. Like, yeah, it was a bad idea. I know. Yeah, I told you it was a bad idea. Like, it's cute. It's not in your face. It's just enough. And so that's what I'm saying. I thought it was just his ability to take on multiple parties, not at one time, but the methodically think through the process of how he was going to do that when these people were hired guns, essentially. So
I I think you hit the nail on the head when you said the episode 3 with Deborah Chow directing it. I think that was more methodical when he went in and rescued the child. How he went room to room strategically, flamethrower, knife. Like, to me, that was top tier killer shit. Like, that is a hired gun that knows what he's doing. He's been doing this for years. It's not amateur hour. I felt, when he was going through and just destroying the droids, beautiful. You got to see the give and take, the adaptability, the resilience. Of course, the Beskar armor helps. It's new, it's shiny, it's pretty, but I never felt any of the mercs were a threat for the Mandalorian in one-on-one combat. The one that was the best one potentially at defeating him was going to be what's his name, Clancy Brown as Berg. Which what was the species, John?
He was Deveronian.
I when I heard this guy was in the episode, I was jazzed because I immediately went to Starship Troopers as the training officer in the beginning of that movie, where one of the guys was like, "What? I don't understand why we have to throw knives. Blah blah. This is BS." And he tells the guy, which is Gary Busey's son, tells him, "Put your hand on the board. Put it up there." And he shoots the knife. He throws a knife, getting him straight in the dead center of the hand. And the guy's freaking out. His hands pinned up to the wall. And he says, "The enemy cannot hit the button on the nuke if you disable their hand." And just his attitude and everything in that movie, it's flushed over. It's come over on other roles that he's done. Most notably, he's Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob. So I thought that's kind of cool. But the Daveronian beast, red, devilish looking horns. He gets a flamethrower to the face. Doesn't care.
Yeah.
But let's just do a quick sound off. What are some of the other characters? I already mentioned Bobby, which is Mark Boone, as Ranzar Malk, however you want to call it.
Malk.
Which is the Mando's buddy, who essentially brings Mando in and says, "Hey, I got a job for you, bud. You want to get some cabbage? You want to do this? I don't run the trenches anymore. These guys do."
Yeah, and at the end of the day, he's like the only reason he was like he knew that the guild was looking for him, but the only reason he let him on is because he needed a ship. Which is surprising. So I thought that was something else that was very interesting was the fact of how much capabilities his ship had. And maybe I missed that in a previous episode. Maybe I didn't, or I missed an article. But the fact that his ship was able to scramble communications and codes and flying under the radar and be able to do all this stuff, I don't remember them talking or touching on that before.
Well, they really haven't. They just said it's pre-Empire.
And like I think the droid who was voiced by Richard Ayoade, maybe is that I said that right?
Which he's awesome in the movie The Watch with Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn and Jonah Hill.
There you go.
Just saying.
Dave's promoting movies now. He plays Zero the robot, and his capabilities of being able to like fly in and everything. He was like, I'm surprised the ship has not been impounded yet. Like, I'm surprised the ship hasn't been destroyed with its capabilities and what it can do. And I'm like, I don't remember them ever talking about that before.
Well, see, I read that scene differently. I read him saying this is a hunk of junk. The hyperdrives only function at 64% capacity. Like, he was saying we need to take any other ship possible except for this one. The only reason they took that one is because it was pre-Empire. It was pre-New Republic.
It was later on in the episode when he was sitting on the ship waiting, and he lands on the prison deck. That once he lands and like he like does all of his maneuvering and everything, he said he was like, "I'm really surprised the ship held up well. I'm surprised they have not impounded it or destroyed it yet because of its capabilities." It was like it was like in the middle of like them trying to get onto the ship, onto the prison's deck, and then everything else. And he did say that exactly. And I was like, this is a hunk of junk. There's no reason we need this ship. It's ridiculous. We'll find something else. And then once he got behind the wheel and he actually maneuvered it and got it there, he was like, wow, I'm really surprised. I read it as, I'm surprised the ship did extremely well. I'm surprised it's still out here and somebody hasn't found it to destroy it because of its capabilities. So I'm interested to see if we explore that more. Not that it's needed. It's not a big deal to me, but I'm interested to see if we explore that more with the capabilities the ship may have. So, but some of the other characters, as you were mentioning, was Natalia Tena as Zeon. Plays in the Harry Potter movies.
What else?
How do you say? Oh, you want me to think of something else?
Game of Thrones.
No,
She was the wildling. Where the hell have you been? She was the wild. She
seriously.
was the wildling that helped Bran. Was it Bran? No, not. Yeah,
It was Bran. I'm
yeah.
looking at her face and I'm
Bran
like,
escape.
when they said she was in Harry Potter and she played Tonks in Harry Potter, I was like, oh, I remember her in Harry Potter. And then when you said that, I was like, why else did I remember seeing her face? And then when you said that, I was like, oh my God, yes, I can see it now.
Yes, you also have a Matt Lantern that came out who voices Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars, which I thought was pretty cool.
I
Popped
didn't
in.
catch it at first. I did not
I
catch.
noticed it right away only because I met the cat at Star Wars Celebration Chicago.
It's nice to Dave.
I don't know.
Whatever.
You know, he saw the volume.
And then you got Bill Burr as Mayfield, which is the guy that has the gun that shoots over his
The
shoulder.
Predator style gun, which I think I liked his character, but I wanted more from it. I feel really bad saying I kept wanting more from these guys, these characters. But
Well,
yeah.
they all are alive.
Spoiler.
That's why I said spoiler
No,
alert at
no,
the
I'm just
beginning.
talking nonsense.
So you could see them again. Um, so as soon as I saw this guy, and I hate to bring this up, hate to bring this up. I feel we had a bet, or did you just say that we were going to see him in the next episode?
No,
You felt it.
I don't think we had a bet, but I want to say I told you we are going to see him this next episode.
I don't know. As soon as I saw him, I was like, damn.
No, we had no.
Dave called it.
You were saying we were going to see Esposito in this next episode, in episode 6, and I said negative champ. He's only coming out in 7 and 8. That was what we talked about.
I don't remember those terms. You can't prove them.
I'm sure you have it written down there somewhere. But no, that was the bet that Esposito would come out in 7 and 8, or that's what I said at least. My prediction.
And then we got Ismael Cruz Cordova, who plays Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
He's from Sesame Street as well. And I'm trying to see here, Mary Queen of Scouts.
Huh?
I don't know what that is. Mary Queen of Scouts he was also in that. We already talked about Clancy Brown. And then at the very end of this episode, you see 3 very familiar faces. As soon as I saw them, I caught it as well as hearing them. But Dave Filoni plays an X-Wing pilot called Trapper Wolf. You got Rick, who directed this episode, that plays an X-Wing pilot called Jib Dodger. And then you got Deborah Chow, who plays Sash Ketter. I recognized 2 of them. I did not recognize Rick right away because I was like, who is that? But Dave Filoni's voice is distinctive. And that's what I caught when I heard him talk. And he talked I think he talked most of that scene, or throughout that scene.
He had a couple lines, nothing crazy.
But overall, I was like, man, and this is the part you didn't like, correct? You weren't a fan of this.
I liked the idea. I liked the concept. I just didn't like the execution. I wanted to see a little dogfight in space. I wanted to see that station have weapons. Let's shoot at these New Republic X-wings. Let's give them some nastiness. Let's scramble a fighter or 2. Nothing. They went in, pew pew pew, shot a couple rounds and bugged out.
Reminds me of that shirt. Pew 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 pew.
It was very anticlimactic.
So,
like, the entire episode to me was very predictable. As soon as he meets those guys, the crew, I knew they were going to turn on him. You knew they were going to turn on him.
There was a feeling that I was like, I feel like they're going to turn on him. Like, it's going to be different. So I can get the predictable side of it. I figured that he was going to do something at the end. I didn't know what he was going to do exactly. When he picked up the little beacon thing that hones in, I was like, I think he's going to do something with that.
See, but they never showed that they turned it off while they were on that ship.
I don't. Yeah.
They never showed they turned it off. They're like, oh, it's activated. I don't remember those lights blinking before.
Yeah, I remember that part.
And then they even talked about a countdown: 15 minutes, 10 minutes. kind of
He
thing.
said it would be
And
20 minutes before
yeah, and then
when
all
we
of a sudden
first.
it just that conversation stopped. So I don't know if I missed something or if it was just lazy writing where they didn't bring it up again and cure us of what happened.
Zero counted it down,
Yeah, I remember that.
and then he got to, I think, like
I think it was
you're
5 minutes.
you're 5 or 10 minutes away, and then he started looking for Baby Yoda because he was like,
Mm-hmm.
something's not right, because he was able to descramble the message from Carl Weathers' character to the Mandalorian, saying, "Hey, they're going to accept the bounty," and that's when he was like, "Hey, I found something interesting." That's when he went to go look, and that's where they stopped
Well,
it.
no, he didn't go look for Baby Yoda. The kid was in the hallway. Zero turns around and sees the kid, remember?
Yeah, but he went downstairs and was like kind of like looking through things and was like prepared for.
Well, that's when he went looking for him.
Yeah,
After he saw the kid, he didn't just like, oh, there's a bounty on board. I'm gonna go walk around. No, like he turned around and saw him and was like, shit, let me get my blaster. Let me shoot this little frog dude. And then he turned around and the kid was gone. That's
stop
the only
calling him a
reason.
frog, dude.
That's a little frog boy, little frog baby, Froggy, if you will, from Sunny in Philly. Those of you guys that watch Sunny in Philly, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Frank is the man. Um, but anyway, the only reason he went looking is because he saw the kid, not because of the message from Apollo Creed.
Nice,
I'm
nice, by
just
the
saying,
way.
it's Apollo Creed, man.
Uh, so do you think that? Well, obviously not, but I'm just trying to dive into the whole ending part a little bit more, where they were talking about like the beacon, and they X-wings ended up shooting there. Very predictable, as you mentioned and you said. Um, it's kind of hard for me to believe that they didn't think that something wasn't going to happen.
Like, what do you mean? Who was not thinking something was going to happen?
The Merc, like the Ranzar Monk, who played by Mark Boone Jr. Like, he didn't think that he's like, shoot him out of the sky. It's like he knew, he's like, I have the upper hand, and I know I have the upper hand in this situation. Shoot the Mandalorian out of the sky. You like, if he had worked with him before, don't you think that was something you would have calculated into your potential like deception?
I think the only reason he thought he had the upper hand is when the Mando, or like he asked about the rest of the crew, the Mando said, "Hey, like you don't ask any questions. The job is done." And
It's part of it. Yeah.
he's like, "You're right." Like, so that was his way of saying like, "Shit, okay, they're gone. Now I have to resort to killing this guy." Because if they really wanted to, they could have probably tried to get the jump on him some way, shape, or form to get a bounty off of him, because we know that the guild is looking for him.
Yeah.
We learned that in the last episode that there's a huge bounty on him for disobeying the guild. So if he had any thought or inclination of that he could have taken him on his own or with the help of the male Twi'lek, they would have gone a completely different route. But they knew that wasn't even an option because of his skill, because he's worked with him before. Hey, just blast the cat out of the sky. I'm a little saddened that that space station didn't have any orbital defenses.
They could have quickly come online
Well, not
and
only
taken care.
not only that, like that could have shot out the Mandalorian, but to defend them against X-wings. I'm sure there's other raiders, there's other like pirates out there, smugglers that would attack a station. Like I just feel like,
There.
if they wouldn't even fire the guns and be like, get the guns online. Why are the guns not online? Something would have had a little bit more flavor, a little bit credence to the surprise nature of the attack instead of it just getting blown out of the sky. But again, maybe I'm just being too picky.
Horrible, horrible writing. Very weak at the best.
Go Panthers. Um, yeah, I just thought, like I said, I really wanted to like this episode. It got too predictable. The dialogue was weak, soft in my opinion. But I'm excited to see what they do when we see these bounty hunters again sooner or later, which we will, whether it's in this season or the next. The stakes are going to be higher. They already know that they're going to be coming hard at the Mandalorian. Heck, the chick Twi'lek that's played by what's her name?
And Talia
Sh
Tina.
they alluded to a little bit of a relationship with the Mandalorian. You know, everybody it makes it seem like she shagged the Mandalorian, and he doesn't take his helmet off, and this is the
Twi'lek,
way. And
Twi'lek bathhouse.
oh, I'm telling you, that's where it's at. Maybe that's where he met her. Um, I didn't like the fact that she was constantly like hissing and showing her teeth. I'm like, I don't know. That just didn't do it for me.
So at first I was like, I don't remember this being a trait of any other Twi'lek.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
like that's what threw
Harris and
me
Lula
off.
never did that.
Yeah, and it's not like, and she was in situations where she had to show that, like, yeah, I can take you out. I can be in charge. Like I can take you down if I need to.
I
Like,
can hold my own. You know what I mean?
dominance thing there. That's I was like, what's the word? Dominance. Like she didn't need to exert her dominance. Or she did have situations where she needed to exert her dominance, but she never did anything like that. Um, it wasn't something that like I thought of, and I was like, whatever, no big deal. Thought she was very good with the knives.
Which she was a
And
beast with the
has
knives because she killed Matt Lannon. um,
yeah,
I don't know why, but anytime I see a character with knives, I always feel that they should, I want to see them balancing a knife on their finger. Um, I want to see them get a kill with a knife, pick it up, and taste the blood. I don't know. Maybe I'm just so old school when it comes to like knife fighting like that. I just that's what I wanted. I didn't get it.
she did balance the knife on her finger.
I know she twirled it. I don't remember her balancing it on her
No,
finger. Did she really?
she got on the ship. When they got on the
That's
Razor
right.
Crest
And
and
they
they
got
were
turbulence,
complaining.
and then it fell. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then they were also yelling or getting upset about something because that's at that point is when the door opened and was it Berg saw the child. Well, they all saw the child, but his finger hit the door, and that's what opened. So,
I want to know
as
why
it,
the knives were turning blue. There was like a little light, like a little button on it.
yeah, I saw that too, and I thought like maybe exploding knives, but that's like why would you need an exploding knife?
Well,
Like,
none of them ever exploded.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like that, when I first saw the light, I was like, are they like exploding knives? And then when I saw it, I was like, nothing exploded.
That's not
Like,
safe in space for sure. It's not safe, man.
and then it's like I couldn't see like a tracking beacon because that wouldn't make any sense. Because if you're that good, you would hit your mark and they would die. So I don't know. It was curious about the blinking lights, and it was also curious about her hissing and everything else. That was something that was needed. So obviously, Dave, this episode hasn't turned you off to the
No,
Mandalorian.
I'm still in the hot seat. Still ready for more. This just so happened to be my lowest ranking episode. I did love the scene where the lights dim, it gets red in the room. You got Bill Burr standing in the hallway by himself. The lights are flashing, and then you see the Mandalorian just slowly coming closer to Bill Burr's character Mayfield. Very very killerish, very serial killer, Michael Myers almost, if you will. And then of course he turns, and then the Mando's behind him. Loved it. Very tongue in cheek, very visually appealing and stimulating. Um, that I think that was my favorite scene, other than him fighting those 4 or 5 Republic droids.
Yeah, she even makes the comment. Natalia even makes the comment. She was like, "What is he good for? If he's why did he even come? Like we're all pinned down. Why is the Mandalorian even here?" And then all of a sudden, like they're looking and he's gone, and then he just comes out of nowhere and takes down the droids. And I was like, "Huh." And which again, this goes back to your predictability comment. It was kind of predictable that that's like he was going to be the one that had to come through at the end and take down the droids. That's how I felt, at least.
Yeah, but also again laying the foundation of they're gonna turn on him. They let him fight the droids all by himself.
Hmm?
He could have potentially fallen by those droids' hand, and they were just watching as bystanders because they didn't want to risk their own necks. That's what I read from that. They're like, no, screw that guy. Let him. If he falls, he falls. We're already here. We already got a ship. Why do we
That's
need
all
him
we
at this
needed.
point?
Yeah.
I'm sad that we're not seeing the Mandalorian with that beautiful disintegration rifle. He had it the first couple of episodes, the first 3 episodes, and now it's gone. He hasn't utilized it since. I get there's some times where you don't need a long range rifle, but I don't know. I miss seeing it just on his back. Even if he doesn't utilize it, I just miss seeing it on his back.
What is the? We saw it in last episode.
What's that?
We saw it in the rifle. We saw it in season 5 because he used it to aim. Yeah, thank you. You're all like, "Oh my god, we had this many seasons. Why have we not seen it?"
Stop it.
Episode 5, where he was getting the bounty with the kid. That apparently I was told over the weekend that kid is dead. He's not coming back. As well as what's her? I think her name's Wendy. She was the other.
Not Wendy.
What is it?
It's not Wendy. I'm gonna let you Google it real quick and then you find out. Just taking this shortcut and saying Wendy. Yeah, no, like when we told you about the kid dying around the fire, just the look on your face was the same as we had last episode, where you're just like, what? A little flabbergasted, but that's why we love you, Johnny. That's why we love you. Have you found it yet?
No, it doesn't come up that fast.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Even more so when they said, "Oh, dump the body over there in Beggar's Canyon." You're like, "He's alive. We're gonna see him again."
He's alive.
I'm telling you, we got two more episodes, and I get a celebration pick out of it, so I can't wait for that.
Ming Na Wen. Okay.
Yeah, not Wendy. Let's just Americanize her like 100%, John. Jesus, that's horrible.
Ming Na Wen. Character.
I'm surprised you didn't say the Little Mermaid.
She was Mulan.
Yeah,
she voiced Mulan.
Yeah, but you said that like 20 episodes ago. You're like,
the fact that you even knew that I was wrong is what's funny, because you don't even like Disney movies.
Disney, yeah.
Even he used it to shoot at to aim in at her character, so we did see it again. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This episode was kind of like, I don't know. I ranked it a 9, so I was pretty happy with it. I'm excited to see what Wednesday's episodes brings, though.
So real quick, we got 2 episodes left. We're 75% done with this season. Or 80% done. What is your favorite episode? Give me your top 3 favorite episodes, real quick. And I know you ranked them by number, but that doesn't, just because you ranked it that high doesn't mean that was your most likable episode. So number 1 is the episode we saw most recently, episode 6.
No, my number 1, even though it's ranked at a 9, I would still say my number 1 episode was still the first episode, chapter 1.
Okay.
Like, I didn't rank it that high, but I still overall generally like that episode better. When I look through and rank them, and then I would say it would be chapter 6, which is the most recent one we saw, and then chapter 3 with the guild turning on him.
Okay, so I'm gonna go episode 1. I'm gonna follow with episode 3, and then I'm gonna go ahead and throw in episode 5 for good measure. Episode 5, the Gunslinger, and strictly for nostalgia purposes. That episode just screamed A New Hope, nostalgia, so I had to go with that. So that's my ranking. That's my listing. Anything else you want to throw in there in regards to episode 6 of The Mandalorian? What was it called? Prison Break?
No, The Prisoner.
Oh, The Prisoner. There you go.
You were close.
Yeah, it had something to do with it.
No, like I said, I really like the episode. I like what it brought to the table. This is probably the only episode that I'm like, I really want to rewatch it again. Which is scary, because I saw episode 1 once or twice, and then every other episode after that I've only seen it once. But this is the only other episode that I'm like, hey man, I would really like to watch this again. So.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what these last two episodes bring, I'm sure one of these episodes is going to creep in and make it our favorite, um, or at least make the top three list. But I'm excited for Wednesday, man. It's right around the corner. Can't wait.
Yeah, Wednesday's so close, and then right after Wednesday we have The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
It's like it's one of those things that you never ever thought that you would get to this point, and now you're here, and we're gonna get to see it again, and it's just like, like you just don't even know. It's so cool.
Oh, I'm crazy excited, man. I can't even wait. Can't wait. Can't wait to watch it so many times, which we're going to. Any other tidbits, nuggets, any information you want to talk about?
No, the only thing that I wanted to bring up, because it kind of goes along with The Mandalorian, is StarWars.com announced last week that we're getting a new comic series called The Bounty Hunter.
Oh yeah.
And it's literally called Star Wars Bounty Hunter. It comes to us in March of 2020. The series follows a cyborg bounty hunter, Valance, as he seeks revenge on mentor turned betrayer Nakano Lash, who has recently resurfaced under mysterious circumstances. But Valance isn't the only mercenary looking for Lash, and he soon finds himself on a collision course with Boba Fett, Boss, and a slew of new killers. So I just thought, since we were talking about the Mandalorian, he's a bounty hunter. New Bounty Hunters comic coming out in March of 2020. Let me see. I don't think it gives us. It's from
That one's gonna be an
right.
ongoing series, right?
Yeah,
Not a mini
it
series.
does. It's not a mini series, as far as I know. That's what I was looking for. I don't think it gave us Revenge Rules and Marvel's Bounty Hunter set for March 2020 exclusive. We posted this, like I said. It's from writer Ethan Sachs and artist Paolo Vininelli.
Okay.
So it doesn't say anything about a mini series. Currently, there's 2 covers posted at StarWars.com, so we know we're at least getting 2 issues. But it doesn't say anything specifically about it being a mini series, so it probably will be an ongoing thing.
I want to say I read it did say it was ongoing. One random thing we haven't talked about in God knows when, and shame on us for doing it. Star Wars Resistance. I am like so many episodes behind. I'm not even compelled to go back, turn it on. I'm off tomorrow. I will sit there. I will watch the episodes. I will catch up. But I haven't been jonesing for it. The only reason I'm going to catch up is maybe there's some nuggets, some tidbits in there for Rise of Skywalker.
So I haven't even seen the first episode. I didn't get through it.
You saw the first episodes of Resistance. Yes, because we saw it at Celebration.
Oh, well, besides that, but I don't think I remember rewatching. I know I didn't get through episode 2. And it was just because but the other thing that I want to point out, and you and I talked about this weekend, is there's nobody else talking about it either.
No, and
Like,
shame on everybody else. You know what I mean? Everything's been eclipsed by the Mandalorian and that friggin' adorable little frog boy from the Mandalorian.
You got the Rise of Skywalker that's coming out, and people have been focused on that. But like StarWars.com, even I don't think I haven't seen any real posts. You haven't sent anything. But I haven't seen articles. I haven't seen anybody talk about it. And maybe that's why they were like, you know what, guys, season 2 is going to be it. Like, you got greenlit. We're going to do it. We're going to close out the story. But in reality, we're probably not going to get the reception that, that we were expecting from it, just because of where it's launching. I think they were banking on the fact that people were going to watch it purely because it leads up to episode 9 and what it could provide and what it could share with us. So I probably won't be able to get it watched before we go see The Rise of Skywalker. I got plenty of time, taking some days off this week for the movie. And even if I watch it afterwards, I'll probably be able to be like, oh, I remember that. And this is why it led to that. So, yeah, we talked about it. Shame on us. We should have been talking about it more. We said we were going to. And yeah, we just, I don't think anybody else is talking. Nobody else is talking about it either.
Yeah, I know, but I just feel bad because it's a Star Wars property and it it's got potential. I really want to see where they were gonna go with it, how it was gonna end. So I'm gonna try and binge as many episodes as I can tomorrow, at least kind of catch up, if you will. It's on Disney Plus. It's on Hulu. Like I just need to sit there and watch it. I've been busy because
Yeah.
of the holidays. That's no excuse, but I got to get back on it.
Yeah. So Star Wars Resistance. I don't think I had anything else. What about you?
No, that's it. Just can't wait for the Mandalorian episode 7 coming up pretty darn quick. Real quick, do you think we will see the rest of those bounty hunters or mercenaries, I should say, because they're not really bounty hunters, the rest of the season? Will we see them in episode 7 and 8?
No, we
No.
won't see him again until another season. And I don't know, just because I don't know how I don't know how episode 7 and 8 are going to play out. I don't know if we're going to see them in season 2.
So you
Because
don't
we
even
know
think we're going to see them in season 2?
no, I said I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know because I don't know
earlier you
how.
just said we were going to see him in season 2, like 30 seconds before that.
No, I said I don't know if we're going to see them in season 2. I don't think we're going to see them in season 1, but I don't know for sure based on how episode 7 and 8 plan out if
My
we're going
head
to see
just
them in season
exploded.
2. I don't ever remember saying that we weren't going to see them in season 2. There is a possibility, but just because I don't know how the rest of season 1's going to pan out, if we're going to see them in season 2.
I think you
They're,
have to see them in season 2. You're probably not going to get them in season 1, but you're probably going to get them in season 2 because it's going to be another 8 episodes. It's going to be 10 episodes, whatever it is. They're going to have to set the groundwork for reoccurring characters to come back, which leads me to my next question. Are we going to see Nick Nolte coming back in this season?
yes.
Gina Carano, IG-11. Are they coming back this season?
I don't think
Right now, lock it in.
I don't think IG-11's coming back at all. Lock that in for. Don't ask me that question again. I'm locking it in for the rest of the thing. We're not seeing
And
him
he shows
again.
up episode 7.
No,
I love it.
we're not seeing him ever again.
What about the
He's
gunslinger?
dead. The gunslinger. He's still there. He's still there. Filoni told me.
Filoni lied. He just don't want to break your heart. He saw your face last episode, and he was like, Johnny.
Gina Carano. I feel we will see her again in season 1.
Okay.
Nick Nolte, the Ugnaught. I have a feeling we're not going to get to see him again until season 2. But here's my one caveat. I know I got to lock it in, but I'll give my caveat first. Right now, the Mandalorian realizes he probably does not have a single friend left in this world. Like, he went to help a guy who allowed him to park his ship, and he betrayed him. Like, I feel at this point the Mandalorian realizes, like, the only friends he has is Gina Carano's character, which is Cara Dune. He's got Nick Nolte's character, which is the Ugnaught, and he's got the nice, pretty lady who are Krill farmers. But other than that, I feel this guy's got no more friends left. Oh, and the nice lady that he parked the ship in the space bay on Tatooine. But other than that, like, he's got a short list of people.
I'm just gonna start off with saying, you said he had not one friend in the world, and then you named 4 in the span of 5 seconds.
I said except for.
Oh, that's how you're doing that. You're gonna go.
Except for. He's not a.
You're gonna go whiskey glasses on me and do double entendres all night.
Yeah. He doesn't have a friend left in the world. He thought he had friends everywhere, and the only friends he has are those 3 people.
You said he doesn't have a friend in the world. That means no friends, John. And then you named 4 friends. That is a contradiction.
So how I talk in English, I put except. He doesn't have a single friend except, and that's how I talked it. That's what I do. So, and they may not even be his friends. Well, the one girl, the Krill farmer, wants to sleep with him.
She wants to take his helmet off. That's it.
She's like, just want to take your helmet off, and then you're not my friend anymore.
She's like, ooh, you got a lot of acne under there.
Oh my gosh, that's rude.
It doesn't breathe well. Whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I got nothing else other than your stylish ramblings tonight.
You didn't lock in yours if we're going to see those people again.
Sorry, IG-11 gone, not coming back, unfortunately. Gina Carano coming back. You have the heavy Mandalorian Jon Favreau coming back. You're not gonna get Nick Nolte. I don't think so.
Ever, or just in season 1?
You're not getting him back ever. I think that was it. Just that was his little bit. Who else do we have? The Bill Burr, all the rest of the crew. We're not seeing them again until season 2. They're going to be reoccurring obstacles in his way, thwarting him, different missions, things like that. I think the next 2 episodes is going to go back to being an Imperial focus, and we're going to see some Death Troopers. We're going to see Esposito come back. We're going to see Carl Weathers come back in this season. He's coming back. Apollo Creed. I think he might come back next episode. I feel it. Giving him a heads up and being like, hey man, the storm's coming. I appreciate you not shooting me in the heart. Showing him the Beskar kind of thing. Yeah, that's my predictions for 7 and 8. Do you think the heavy Mandalorian is coming back or not?
Oh, he's coming back, and so is the armorer played by.
Of course, yeah.
I forget her first name. Her last name is Swallow. That's not Amy. I can't remember. But she's coming back for sure. I'm interested to see where they moved the clan.
Oh, who knows? Who knows? I'd love to see a bunch of Mandalorians like we did in episode 3 again. I just don't know if we're going to go into or not.
Very true. Very true. Okay.
I think I'm done, though.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in today. This was our recap and our thoughts on episode 6.
Sorry. 3.
I was like...
I went...
6 of The Mandalorian. Stay tuned for episode 7, which will air on Wednesday, December 18th, 2019. We are Balance of the Force, a Star Wars podcast. And as always, may the Force be with you.
Once more, the Sith will rule the galaxy.